It's time to talk Melbourne with an area you guys have sent in. He wants a long-term hold strategy with a budget of 800,000 to $1 million. Together with Junge Ma, lead research analyst from InvestorKit, we unpack the state, LGA, and area you've sent in.
The population growth last year, it was 2.1% above Australia's average. Any of those three options, I don't think they are the most ideal in terms of capital growth.
To find out, is it a no or is it a go? Given Daniel's price range, how does that change the way that you're looking at this as far as a no or a go is concerned?
If he wants to buy something relatively new, this could be a...
If you've been thinking about buying in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne and want to know just how much bang you can get for your buck, or if your budget's realistic, you're going to enjoy this episode. My name's Todd Sloan. This is the Pizza and Property Podcast, and this episode is powered by Property Strats, InvestorKit, Inside 2, and Property Developer Network. More about our amazing show sponsors in the show notes below. Right now, let's jump into the episode with Junge Ma. Junge Ma, how you going?
Not bad. Very happy to be back.
It is always good to see you. Always good to chat areas. I mean, this one, listener's choice, we're talking about Melbourne. It is such a popular topic at the moment. And we've got a listener's choice question that's been sent in by Daniel, specifically for the area of Eltham. Now, we're going to be unpacking that in more detail and ask the question that he's actually asked here. But as in a standard listener's choice format, first, we're going to be talking about Victoria. When I say we, Junge is going to be talking about Victoria.
No, we.
A bit more of a health check on it, economically how it's going, drilling down into Melbourne, and then further down into Eltham. All right, now Daniel's a man of few words. He's looking for a house. He wants a long-term hold strategy with a budget of 800,000 to $1 million. There's a few more details that we might need filled in to like properly really unpack this one. But given the details that we've got here, let's start unpacking it. But why don't we start with the state of Victoria?
No problem. Victoria, the population growth is always my favorite about Victoria because it's really improving. The population growth in general, last year it was 2.1%. It is above Australia's average, which is 1.8%.
Significantly above then. It's not just a touch above. Like
0.3%.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. And also, it's not just above average. It's actually the second place among all states. That one is actually impressive because it's even higher than Queensland.
Yeah, right. So population-wise, it's and is a lot of this fueled by interstate, intrastate? Is this overseas? Like, where's this coming from?
Mostly from overseas.
Overseas migration. What are the overseas stats?
In the past, not financial year, but in the 12 months up to September last year, the total net overseas migration in Victoria was 112,300.
Like 112,300 people?
Yes. That is net overseas. So incoming minus leaving.
Is there many people leaving?
For that, I need to check the number, but yes.
So over 110,000 people, just to put it in like simple numbers, coming in, like the sentiment of everyone's fleeing Victoria, the numbers don't quite agree with that.
Not really. I guess when we talk about people fleeing Victoria, we're talking about interstate, like internal migration instead of going overseas. Because when people flee Victoria, they don't really flee Australia. They just go to Queensland, right?
I'm regretting using the word fleeing now because now I feel like it's the people running out of a burning building. Like the images are a bit different in my head. But as far as its overall population growth, it's looking healthy.
Yes. And if we want to expand a bit on the people leaving Victoria part, we actually want to look at internal migration.
Okay.
Before, during COVID, yes, more people were leaving Victoria for other states. But now after COVID, especially since last year, we are seeing positive numbers in net internal migration.
They had a hard lockdown though as well. That was full on then.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's understandable. So what are the numbers now?
The numbers, the net internal migration now for Victoria is a positive number, 882. Just hundreds, but still much better than the rest states.
Like what was it beforehand? Because
it was minus thousands.
Minus that. Okay, so it might only be positive by a few hundred now, 800, but at least it's in the positive. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And it is one of the 3 states with this positive number. The other 2 are WA and Queensland, obviously receiving more residents than losing.
Okay. What else do you want to talk about as far as Victoria is concerned before we jump into Melbourne?
Victoria, well, population growth is quite healthy now. Mm-hmm. The economy is just doing, I guess, average. Compared to other states, the unemployment rate for Victoria as a state, it's actually the highest among all states, 4.6. Not extremely high, not a unhealthy level, but
in comparison, it's the highest.
Yeah, other states, they are lower than this.
Okay.
And the GSP, gross state product growth, or just in general economic growth, it's not the highest. Number 4 among all states. So it's just an average level.
And what is the GSP?
The GSP of Victoria was a 1.5%.
5%.
Yeah, in the past financial year.
So 1.5%.
Mm-hmm. And that's just pretty much in line with Australia's average, 1.4%.
So overall, it sounds like Victoria is not doing amazing. It's not doing bad. It's doing good. It's kind of like just level playing field. Yeah.
Yes, average level.
All right. Before we get into the LGA, can we open up a little bit more about Melbourne? If we can zoom in a little bit more from Victoria, talk to me about Melbourne at the moment.
Melbourne's house market is not the strongest. Mm-hmm. The 12-month rolling house price now is still 850,000, and it has been there for, I think, more than a year now.
I've got to ask, how does that still compare to like Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth? Like, is Brizzy still above, isn't it?
Yes, Brisbane's still higher than Melbourne. And Adelaide, if depending on which data set we look at, in the data sets we're using, Domain Insights, when it comes to 12 months rolling, basically a 12 months rolling median, basically you get the median number over all the sales over the past 12 months. When we look at that number, which is not too timely, it is still slightly higher than Adelaide's. But if we look at 3 months rolling median, all sales over the past 3 months, Adelaide has already surpassed Melbourne. And another thing, if we look at CoreLogic's data, Adelaide has already surpassed Melbourne as well.
I can already hear the keyboards tapping now going, why is it all different, Jung?
Yes.
Can you open up, because I feel like that's an episode in itself, but can you open up a little higher level as to like why there's such a variation?
The variation could be caused by how they sample sales data. The 2 platforms, CoreLogic and Domain Insights, they may sample from different resources. For example, Domain, they may just use the data their platform collects. While CoreLogic, they may source data from a different place.
And sometimes isn't it also just in the nuance of the wording of the difference between like median house price, median property price, like because in a property price, then that's going to take units, houses, like everything into account, whereas a median house price is literally just a house.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's like the Adelaide's median house price means like within that 15K ring of Adelaide, not greater. So there's all these little variations that can come in.
Yes, that's also correct.
Got it. Okay. All right. So 850,000, it's been staying pretty stable, even down in some cases from data that I've been looking at.
Yes.
It's like back a percent or 2 in some cases.
Yeah. But the trend is it's been there for forever, almost.
Forever. Okay. All right.
More than a year.
Anything else you want to say about Melbourne before we actually zoom into the LGA of Eltham?
Nothing really. Basically, Melbourne is a very slowly moving market right now.
Okay. All right. So what are we looking at for the LGA?
The LGA, where Eltham is, it has a very unique name, Nilambik.
Nilambik. Okay. Tell me about Nilambik.
This is a very well established LGA, so the population growth is not as strong as Melbourne's. It's only 0.7% year-on-year growth, as they're not building a lot of houses.
Okay, so population growth isn't quite as strong.
But at the same time, when we talked about economic strength, we mentioned Melbourne's unemployment rate, 4.6%. This LGA's unemployment rate is actually much lower than Melbourne's, 1.6%.
And so what does that speak to as far as like the economic makeup of professions? Like, is this more blue collar, white collar?
This area, based on the housing price, I would say it's more of white collar workers with, I guess, more managers or higher income households.
What is the median house price in that?
Median house price in this LGA is 1.15 3.5 million.
And how far away are we from the city?
It's about 20 kilometers to CBD, while it's in the northeast area.
Right, it's up around like the Templestowe sort of way?
Yes and no, because Templestowe is 5 kilometers away from here, at least closer to Eltham than to the CBD.
Okay. The only reason I ask is like it's a nice part of Melbourne. Like
yes.
this, and again, I guess is reflected in the median house price, 1.15. Like we're about to start looking at some nicer property.
Yes.
Okay. I've got to ask then, yields. I've got a feeling they're about to be pretty unattractive.
Yes. Given the relatively high median price, yield is 3.4%.
That's actually higher than I thought.
Higher than you thought. That's good.
That's not a good yield, but that's more than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, actually, yes. Higher than it would have been.
I was honestly expecting you to say something in the high twos.
But we're looking at because rental growth has been high last year. I guess that's right.
Okay. How much has rent grown in the LGA?
12.5%.
Okay. So that's really boosted up, but house prices have been pretty stable.
Yes.
Makes sense now.
Okay. The LGA level, I guess that's it. Very well established LGA, good rental growth, not so much sales price growth. Therefore, yield has improved to 3.4%. Pretty much it.
All right, let's start getting into Eltham and start really honing in on Daniel's question. So he wants to spend 800,000 to $1 million. He's looking for a house. Let's start pulling this apart. So what's the median house price of Eltham, if we can start there?
Yes, Eltham I guess it's a even higher priced suburb, even within this LGA. The median house price now is 1.19 million, let's say 1.2 million.
All right, and Daniel's looking at spending 800,000 to $1 million. So he's looking at snatching a renovator? Like what's...
Yeah, that's one possibility. Or if you don't want to renovate with this budget, your options might be very limited, or you may be looking at really small houses or even townhouses.
I'm actually just pulling Eltham up right now. I'm just looking on realestate.com. And he didn't say anything about block size in his question, did he? Let me just bring Daniel's question back up. Did he? And I'm just forgetting that.
I don't think he has.
Yeah, no, nothing about block size. All right. So if we're looking at Eltham, it looks like if you want to spend 800,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, can totally do it, but you're on more like 240 square meters. It's a little bit dated.
It's just smaller size.
Yeah, looks like also there's lovely houses here, looking like they're in the 8s and 9s, smaller block. All right, so but looking through a couple houses in, we have jumped up a fair bit, but it's looking like 864 square meters, 4-bed, 2-bath. It is a price guide though, and we all know sometimes price guides might not be where they're actually going to be end up selling for 860 to 940. So this looks like it's got potential. I mean, obviously this needs a bit of work. I'm just looking through the photos here. You got some dolls staring at you as well. I don't know if you can see on photo number 6. I'm not sure if they're included, but the kitchen's a bit dated, but everything looks functional though. Like this isn't like a proper fallen apart renovator, but more than likely he'd still want to be doing some work in this kind of price range. So what I'm getting from this is if Daniel's keen on rolling up his sleeves or coordinating a renovation, then his price range could possibly work. But if he's not, then he's probably looking more so at getting something that's on smaller land, a little bit newer.
Yes.
So looking at this place, it looks like if Daniel's keen on either rolling up his sleeves or managing a project, getting a property, and I know this is the asking price, not the sold price, but roughly in his range, it's possible. But if he's wanting something that's a little bit more set and forget, he's probably looking at rather small block of land, potentially a unit, something a lot smaller, but you wouldn't have to do anything. Given Daniel's price range he's put here, how does that change the way that you're looking at this as far as a no or a go is concerned?
Yeah, I guess as you said, if Daniel would like to do some renovation, this could be a go. But if he wants to buy something relatively new, he would be looking at either a small block of land or a unit or a townhouse.
Or he's probably going above the $1 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any of those 3 options, I don't think they are the most ideal in terms of capital growth. In the first case, if it's just a freestanding house on a small piece of land, I don't think that would be the typical property type in this area. Even though in the long term growth would be be similar to the other houses. When it's time to sell, you may face fewer interested buyers, therefore longer days on market or less negotiating power. And then if it's a townhouse or unit, in the long term, the growth potential wouldn't be as good as a freestanding house.
If memory, Darwin is the only place in Australia where units have actually outpaced houses over the past 30 years.
Yeah, because they don't have oversupply issue on unit.
I thought you were going to say they don't have houses there.
Melbourne, on the other hand, has too much unit supply.
There's a lot of units there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So basically what I'm hearing is if he's open to maybe boosting the price range up into maybe like 9s and above the million and more set and forget, possibly. But if he doesn't want to and it's a unit, then it sounds like it's a no, because you're looking at that from like a future competition point of view, that there will still be capital growth, but possibly not the same kind of rate of it.
Correct.
And then when we mix that together with a much lower rental yield, to me, the question back to you, Daniel, and please comment below, man, I want to know, why Eltham? Like, was there a reason that you were picking this because it's close to home, because maybe you're looking at it as home? Like, what is it that you're actually after about this area? Because from what you're saying here, Jung, like this isn't the worst place you could invest. However, there's potentially better places you could put your money.
Yes, across Melbourne, there are so many other suburbs with potential well within your budget range, even lower than your budget range, that can also achieve a great long-term growth and also has healthier yield to make your hold easier.
All right. So is there anything else that you wanted to say about Eltham, Melbourne, Victoria, just as we're sort of wrapping this up?
Yeah, I guess I'll add one note about Eltham's market performance. From the data we're looking at, it's not moving fast. The days on market is still increasing. So theoretically, that means market pressure is still quite low.
That's a good, yeah. Okay.
And also price trend line as well still going down. But that is just what data shows. What I hear from our on-the-ground team is that in Melbourne, even in higher-priced suburbs like Eltham, the market is moving faster than before. So it's one interesting thing to note, I guess, when you read data. The data sets you have could be not too up-to-date. You have to combine that with on-the-ground observation as well.
Love it. Okay. So as far as your question there, Daniel, it sounds like it's a no, unless potentially there's that gap if you want to roll up your sleeves, mate. But otherwise, really, it comes back to there's probably better areas that you could get a better rental yield, potentially a better return, and potentially even invest a little bit less money as well, like at a more affordable budget. But if you guys have got an area that you want sent in, you want either Jung or Arj to pull it apart from the state, LGA, and suburb level to see if it's a no or if it's a go, the more information you give us, the better we can actually have a question answered for you. There's going to be a link in the show notes below. But Jung, is there any final words of wisdom or anything you wanted to add to this one?
Yeah, that's it from me.
Perfect. Junge Ma from InvestorKit, thank you as always. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.